Good morning, everyone. This is Sandra Waldrop. You are watching Kingdom Acres. Welcome to my segment on Craft Round the Clock. If you are not in that amazing group, please be sure and join. There are some fantastic things in store. I know tomorrow we have a Fun Friday event, which is all about sewing. And if you join today, you will see fantastic presenters lined up all throughout the day in 45-minute segments. So please definitely join that group. Good morning, Lori. As y'all come in, please go ahead and comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know your plans today, what's going on. It's just a beautiful morning, and I'm so glad that y'all are choosing to spend it with me. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. How are you? I'm so glad to have y'all here. And again, this live is being broadcasted through Craft Around the Clock. And so if you are not part of that group, please do join, because you will just learn so much from all of those ladies. I know I do. And it's always a great time. It's always a great time watching them. Oh, the other side of Texas. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. So today I have in store for you a kind of a twist on a primitive vintage craft. We are making a washboard, but I'm using a box instead of just a normal back on it, so that it can be kind of like a shadow box situation. So I'm very, good morning, Miss Tracy. Good morning, Stephanie. I'm so glad to have y'all here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on my little craft here. I will not finish in my 45-minute segment today, but I will be up at 7 o'clock live with y'all tomorrow morning for that Fun Friday sewing event, and we are going to put our finishing touches on this project at that time, because there are some sewing elements that are going to be included in this little DIY that we're doing. Okay, so what I've got here is just a regular little box from Dollar Tree. I've got some large paint sticks. I think these are the 5-gallon paint sticks from Walmart. They come in a 3-pack for like $1.78. Okay, so you can't beat that. That is just a really good deal. Then let me grab these. I've also got 1-gallon stir sticks, also from Walmart. These come in, I think, a 5-pack, and again, they're like, it's less than $2 for the 5-pack. So this is a very budget-friendly craft that we're doing here. Oh, good morning, Miss Crystal, Judy, Irma, Miss Lori. Facebook really likes you this morning because they keep telling me that you are watching. Oh, good morning. So yes, let me know where y'all are watching from, and let me know what you have going on today. We have a graduation to go to this evening. My daughter's boyfriend is graduating from high school. My daughter graduated a couple years early. She's a homeschooler, so she was able to just, pack full her years with credits, and she wanted to graduate early so she could start doing her college classes and all this stuff and not have to worry about dual. And so she went ahead and graduated, and so her boyfriend is graduating this year, and he's also just finished up his 3rd year of college, so he'll be graduating again next year. Anyways, I also have here, these are 10-inch wooden craft sticks. You're going to see what we do with these here in just a minute. I'm putting this whole thing together with hot glue because I love me some hot glue. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Hi, Shauna. Welcome in, welcome. All right, so I'm just going to start off I'm going to use my husband's tin snips. They're rusty, they're old. I use them for everything. I'm constantly stealing them. He never knows where they're at because I always take them from him. And I'm going to use that to trim up my 1 gallon paint sticks here. So you'll want to have something to cut. I know people have like those miter cut things that are super cool, and eventually I'll probably get one of those. But these work so great. So great. So if you are down to borrow things from your husband, then that's the way to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to measure and make sure. I had already trimmed off one end of this just to make sure that my little tin snips were going to work. But now I need to make sure that this is going to measure right. And I just want to make it to where, I want to make sure that y'all can see this, that the paint sticks can be glued down to my wooden box here, and that the overhang and everything will match up perfectly because I want this to frame it. I want it to frame it. So it looks like we're maybe like 1/4 of an inch off. I'm just going to eyeball this because I did not bring a pencil to the table. That's all right. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully I can cut this straight because the little deals on here look kind of twisty, so it's hard to make sure that you're cutting straight, but just eyeball it. None of my crafts are ever completely perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a perfect person. I don't want my stuff to be perfect. I like character and uniqueness. So I'm just making sure that's lining up good. Okay, there, and okay, there. It's all okay-ish. And I'm just going to hot glue this onto my box here. Just trying to get that all covered good so that we get a good stick there. And I'm just gonna push that on there. And if there's any drips and stuff, I can like take a little X-Acto knife and cut that off. Yeah. It kicked you off. Oh no. Good morning to you too. I'm sorry that was doing that. Facebook has just been so silly here lately. I don't know what in the world. I'm thinking maybe there's an update coming to fix all of our issues. I hope. Facebook has just been so crazy. Good morning, Miss Cheryl and Teresa. Liz, good morning. Oh, thank you for the sprinkles. Thank you. I really appreciate that so much. Okay, so I've got that looking just like that, okay? Now I'm going to kind of measure one over the top of that. No, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to measure it on the inside of the box because I'm going to have those longer paint sticks coming down. So I really need it to just kind of be in line with the box so that it doesn't interfere with my longer paint sticks. I hope that makes sense. It's a little early in the morning for me to be making sense. Although during the school year, I'm usually leaving the house at this time because I am the director for a homeschool co-op. So usually twice a week we head out early, try to beat all of the other homeschoolers to the church that we meet at. And my girls and I go and we set up the building and we get out all the toys for the littles. And good morning, Deborah, Teresa, Liz, Shauna, Dawn. Thank y'all for being here. It makes my heart so happy that y'all are here. We go and we set up all the things for them. Oh goodness, I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna have to peel that off. I should have left an area on here. I just didn't cut it short enough. Okay. Again, 7:30. Normally I'm just dragging out like chairs and things at this time. So my brain's going to catch up to my big plans this morning. My brain's going to catch up. It'll be fine. All is well. I'm glad I caught that before things went awry. Okay. I just need to take off probably another 1/4 of an inch or so. Try to get it straight. Try to get it straightish. Okay. I just want it to fit. Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right. I'll try again. Just trying to peel all this stuff off now. Here we go. Me and my shenanigans. Me and my shenanigans. Always, always. But the earlier you catch me or the later you catch me, I'm more likely to have shenanigans of this nature. Always a fun time. Anyways, so we're going to graduation tonight. I'm so excited for all these kids. I always get so emotional around graduation time, especially since my 2 oldest graduated. Because, you know, people like dig up all the baby pictures and it just goes so fast, you know. These kids have such bright futures ahead of them. And then I start thinking about the kids that don't really have bright futures ahead of them, and they don't have a support system, and they don't have, you know, huge aspirations. They're basically just trying to survive. You know, kids coming out of the foster care system, you know, once they turn 18, that's basically it as far as help for them. You know, they're unless they have like a caring foster family that is equipped to really help them, then they're just kind of out. They graduate and they have to move out of their home that, you know, they've had, and they don't have guidance. And as somebody who had guidance, I can tell you that sometimes that is not always enough. It's not always, you know, it's not always everything. And so, these kids, they have, you know, they're up against a lot. Okay, I'm just going to butt this up against. See why that wasn't going to work? It's got to fit on there just right. So, that's why I was needing to shorten that a smidge. Good morning, Chris, Teresa, Liz. I thank you all for being here so early in the morning with me, with all of my graduation emotions here coming up. It's an emotional time of year, I know, for a lot of people. For a lot of people it is, I know. Seeing your nieces and your nephews graduate, or your friends' kids, or your kids. And because, you know, I've been a director for our co-op for so long. Good morning, Jenny. Oh, my sweet Jenny. I got your card from Aurelius graduating from Navy, with the Navy training. The thing that he did. And the pictures and looking all naval. It's crazy. I remember when he was just a little baby. It's not helping. Not helping. All these things, all these little babies growing up and being big. I don't like it one bit. Just stay little and cute and talk, say all the words wrong. Don't ever stop saying the words wrong. I love it. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Kim. Oh, good morning, Debbie. I appreciate y'all being here. Good morning. So yeah, I just love, you know, when little kids mispronounce words. It's just so precious. And then they grow up, and we've got one of my kids that that was in our co-op with us, she graduated from LSU last week, and she's got her bachelor's now. Something amazing, something fancy. Yeah, it's crazy. And so seeing that and seeing the growth in my own kids, those of you who are also on my personal page probably saw my post about my daughter, who she's a high schooler, but she has dyslexia and dysgraphia. And so she has struggled for most of her life with reading, writing, spelling, her working memory, all of these things. And as a homeschooler, you know, we don't have the same resources available to us, but we've worked through a lot of things. We have horses, so she's, you know, that's hippotherapy that she does, which is great for dyslexia and dysgraphia. And then I put her in a lot of things where she has to memorize information and hit a buzzer, and that creates that chemical reaction to improve her working memory. So that has helped quite a bit. But we had record books for 4-H due the other day, and it's always, oh, good morning, secondhand treasures, good morning, so glad you're here. Miss Cindy, both Cindy's, good morning, Crystal, Stacy. Oh, your grandson graduated. Yes, nephews and nieces graduate. Yes, it's just such a bittersweet time, right? It's such a bittersweet time. But she had her record book due for 4-H. And for senior division, that means like a 10-page paper that she has to write on her experience over the past year. And we have been so busy that we did not get to even begin to work on her record book till the day it was due. I texted our ag agent. I was like, what time do these things have to be turned in by? Well, we had a county council meeting that night. She's like, as long as I get it before I leave the meeting, we're good. So the meeting started at 7 p.m. So we worked on it all day long. And she was able, on her own, she was able to write a 10-page paper doing voice to text, but she wrote a 10-page paper in just a few hours. And I was able to edit it for her, you know, and like check for spelling and all that kind of stuff. But that is a huge accomplishment for a child with dyslexia and dysgraphia, because most kids with dysgraphia really struggle with organizing their thoughts to be able to put stuff down on paper and, you know, get their paragraphs down and everything like that. So it was just a huge success. Good morning, Pat. How are you? Chris, Beverly, sorry if I'm missing anyone. Good morning, Miss Sheila. I'm so glad to have y'all here with me this morning. So I'm just going to use my little trimmers here, and I'm going to trim the rounded ends off of my popsicle sticks. These are going to cut much easier than the paint sticks did. But this is how it's looking so far. Okay. And I'm just going to use these paint sticks, and I'm going to go up the back with them. I might have to trim off a little more. I can see a little bit sticking out. But I'm going to start actually at the bottom, and then I'm going to work my way up, and you'll see why. You'll see why I do that. So let me trim a little bit more off of this. So anyways, we've had some successes over here, and it just makes my heart so happy, so extremely happy. She wants to be a teacher when she grows up. And so, you know, that means college. and she wants to go to Texas A&M. So she's got some pretty hefty aspirations especially for a child who has some struggles, right? Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday. I almost said Tuesday. Goodness me, where has the week gone? So, anyways, it's been a roller coaster for us. I keep coming out of frame. Sorry, guys. And so it's been a roller coaster for us, teaching her. And I'm just going to overlap these. So hopefully you can see how that's looking. I'm just trying to overlap them. I wonder if I should be doing, maybe I should be doing it down. Let me see. Let's look and see how it's going to look if I start from the top instead. Maybe I should do it top to bottom. Let's see here. Does that look better? Look at my other one. No, I think I'm supposed to go. I'm going to do bottom to top. That's because you scrub downward, and so you want the edge to be at the top, if that makes sense. That makes sense. I understand it's decorative. Nobody's actually going to be scrubbing on this. If you want to go from top to bottom, you go right ahead. Oh, goodness gracious. So anyways, that's my little success story here so far. And really, I cannot take any credit for this because my sweet friend Danielle, she teaches our writing classes at our homeschool co-op. And I've just the past couple years, I've just basically handed all that over to Danielle and let her, guide my daughter and instruct her. And the curriculum we use for that class is really beneficial. We use IEW, which is Institute for Excellence in Learning, or Institute for Excellence in Writing, not Learning. And so it's an awesome curriculum if your child has that and you're wanting to homeschool. Good morning, Miss Tanya. Tammy. I'm trying not to miss anybody. So anyways, I'm really excited about her increasing her skills and abilities. And I'm sure it's no news to her writing teacher. But to me, after being the main one who's been, beating my head against the wall and trying to get her to where she can, do all of the things, it's been rough since kindergarten because she's never stepped foot in public school. She's been homeschooled since the very beginning. And so seeing her being able to work like a normal high schooler and just get out of paper, that was really, because that was me in high school. The day something was due, I would wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning and just like knock out a paper, or the night before stay up until like 2 o'clock in the morning and knock that paper out. Good morning, Miss Esmeralda from Lovett. How are y'all? How are you? How is everyone this morning? I know I'm just over here rambling away. Rambling. That's what I do my best. So that's what I like to do best. As a kid, I was often referred to as a chatterbox. It's one of my spiritual giftings. Oh, goodness. Being a chatterer, that's my gift right there. So I'm just continuing to overlap here, and then we can get to painting once I get all this. But can you see how that's looking? And it's okay if they're not like perfectly straight. We want it to look not perfect. We want it to look vintage, unique. Vintagey things are not typically perfect. You know, even glass things have like ripples in the glass and stuff. So I'm not concerned about it being perfectly straight or perfectly spaced or whatever. But you know, I'm doing my best, but I'm not going to be breaking out a square or a level or anything crazy like that. But I've had this project in my mind for a while now, so I'm really excited to be able to put it together with y'all this morning. And I'm super excited for tomorrow's event on Craft Around the Clock. Our sewing event. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what everybody makes. We do have another graduation to attend tomorrow for another one of our sweet friends. But she goes to a different school in a nearby town. And like we live in kind of a rural area, so it's like if you live in West Columbia, Angleton, Sweeney, Lake Jackson, we're all close enough that, you know, if you want to attend something, it's, you know, it's within driving distance, maybe like a 10 or 15-minute drive, not a big deal. Yes, they're Popsicle Sticks. They're just the giant craft sticks from Walmart. I think just a few dollars for a giant pack of 45 sticks. And then I'm just using some little tin snips here to trim off the ends. Super, super simple. Anybody could do this. If I can do this, I know y'all can do this because I am no engineer. I am no engineer. My coffee maker is turning off. I heard it beep. Ah, man. That coffee maker, we got it not too long ago, and it turns off only after being on for a couple of hours. I started coffee, let's see, at about 6 o'clock. Yeah, so it's almost 8 now. And I don't know, like, I don't really like that it turns off. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Kelly. Good morning to you, too. Good morning, Tammy. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so I'm just so, like, I'm not, I mean, it makes the coffee. It gets me the coffee, okay? But here's the thing, okay? My husband spoils me, all right? And he will make the coffee, but he leaves at an unreasonably early hour of the morning, like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I don't want to get up and drink coffee at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I want to be asleep at 4:30, 5 o'clock, right? So by the time I'm getting up for my day and ready for coffee, that machine has already turned itself off and the coffee is not very hot anymore. Which, I don't drink my coffee extremely hot, but it takes me a while to finish my coffee. So if I'm starting out with just warmish coffee, then, you know, it's going to get cold pretty quickly when I pour it into my cold coffee cup from, you know, the cupboard. It's going to get cold fast. So that's my biggest complaint, is that it's not staying on for very long. So I don't get to drink my coffee warmish. And, ouch. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's a first world problem, right? Like, I'm having coffee and I should just be grateful for that. But if y'all have any recommendations on a relatively affordable coffee maker that makes pots of coffee and stays hot and you just love it, and you know, it's also like a time machine and whatever, you know, it'll also do my dishes and cook dinner. Let me know. Good morning, Miss Debbie, Jackie. Be so creative. Good morning. Eventually, I'm going to start remembering business names to human names. However, if I meet your dog, cat, horse, llama, I will remember their name before I remember your name. I'm just horrible like that. Sorry. I've never been great with names. But I am great with animal names, especially if it's something silly, like you have a dog named Chuck Norris or something. I'm going to remember that. My friend has a cat named Sheeby, and I love this cat. She has all of the attitude, and she is so judgmental, this cat. And she is a giant loaf of bread. Like, she is just so silly. Haven't found a good coffee maker. Yes. Oh man. I hoped I was the only one with this issue. Coffee maker, like a good coffee maker. If you have a good coffee maker that you love, you are winning at life. I tell you what, you are life winning. All right. So that's what it's looking like right now. Okay, I've got strings, and I'm not even confident that they're fresh strings. Okay. So that's how it's looking so far. Okay. On the inside here, you're going to love what we do with that tomorrow. Okay. So now I'm just going to put like a little border across here. Okay. And then we're going to get to painting this. I've got 15 more minutes, and I think that we can accomplish that. Okay. I'm just going to get one of my paint sticks, and I want it to go all the way across the bottom here like that. So I'm just going to mark it with my nail, and it goes pretty much right up to the handle. So that's pretty good. We're not going to have any issues with having an asymmetric bottom border. Goodness me, this one's harder than, there we go. Harder than the other one was. Okay. But we got it. It worked. All right. Looking good to me. Looking good there. So, anyway, so we've got graduation today, graduation tomorrow, and then on Saturday we have graduation party. Sunday, graduation party. So, we've got all of the opportunity to spend the next several days just crying and welling up with, you know, pride and sadness and love and all the things. Isn't that adorable? Isn't that so cute? Okay. Now to pick our colors. Okay. We've got some different color wood situations here, so I'm not really wanting to go without painting this. I'm thinking that I'll do white on the sticks, and then, although I do love, what do y'all think? Should I just like coffee stain the wood, or should I go ahead and paint the wood frame? Good morning, Miss Elaine. Judy, Irma, I find coffee becoming old tasting after it's been sitting too long. Yes. So I do put up with that quite a bit, because when my husband is out of town, and you know, we just have the pot of coffee, I'll make half a pot of coffee, but I don't drink all of that at once. So I'll just leave it, and then the next morning I heat that up, and I can tell that it's day-old coffee, and that's fine for me. Like, I'm not a huge coffee snob or anything like that, but I don't know. I would really like a coffee maker that would keep it hotter. Get a carafe to keep it hot. Oh, maybe just like changing out the carafe, like getting like one of those insulated metal ones. That might work. That's a great idea. Yeah, I don't like to waste it either. Good morning, Miss Lisa. Oh, thank you, Irma. So maybe, I think I'm going to go ahead and try coffee grunge on just the wood part first. And then if we don't like it, we can paint over it. I think that's what I'm going to do for that. Now the slats right here in the middle, we're going to make those metal looking. I'm going to try. Goodness, did I get any gray paint? Eek. I don't even think that I brought my gray paint out. I might have to finish that part off tomorrow, but I'm going to do this at least, and we can paint the inside of this box because I know that I want that black. Let's try some coffee grunge on this and see how it looks. If we don't like it, we will paint over it. Let's see here. Will that fit in there? Here we go. My little sponge brush. We're just going to try it and see. I did a shelf on Monday that turned out beautiful, just staining it with the coffee grunge, and then I did like a whitewash over it, just a dry brush with that, with the chalk paint, and that turned out really great. It looks darker on camera, I think, but my concern is that the two different sticks, because I have the 1 gallon sticks and then the 5 gallon sticks, my concern is that they would be two different shades, but we'll see. We will see how it turns out. We might like it just like this. And I could use the coffee podge, which would be really good to give it like a glaze, not just a stain, you know? So after I do this, I might go ahead and try some coffee podge over it. We're just going to layer it and see what happens. We're just going to try our best. Oh, goodness. I've got, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I hate it when I do that because it never fails. Nobody will call me or text me all day long. But when I'm on a live, I will get all of the text messages. My group messages will start just going off. Somebody had a big announcement. You know, something is up. All right. So there's just with the coffee grunge. And I think that looks really nice too. Now it does dry lighter though. It does dry lighter. I think I'm going to add the coffee podge. Now, this one is not Miss Tracy's recipe. Once I finish up my coffee podge, I will be making Miss Tracy's recipe because she uses school glue and all I had was Mod Podge. So I just mixed like half Mod Podge and half coffee grunge. And it's really thin. And I might keep some of this thinner stuff too on hand just for situations like this where I want just a glaze. But when it comes to actual like decoupaging and stuff, Miss Tracy's recipe is so much better. So definitely a good thing to have on hand. But yeah, I'm kind of liking this. I was thinking that they were going to be different wood, like the woods were going to look too different, but I don't think that it looks too bad actually with the two different woods. And it does look kind of creamy with Mod Podge, but that look does go away. So, and I think what's good about this is that having the Mod Podge in there makes it to where it doesn't just like soak in. It kind of sits on top. So you get more of that glaze going. What do you think about that? What do you think? I love it. I love it. So cute. So cute. So yeah, we've got a little shadow box in there. I can't wait to show you what we're going to do tomorrow. Can't wait. Can't wait. It's going to be so... What am I going to put in the box? You're going to have to catch me tomorrow at 7 a.m. to find out. I'm going to be first in the lineup tomorrow morning, kicking off the day with our little sewing projects that we've got going tomorrow. And so that's what I want to tell you. I do. I'm horrible at keeping secrets, but I really want to wait to tell y'all, because I think that y'all are just going to get a kick out of it, what I do in there. I think I'm going to do black on the inside of the box. Second coat, the lighter wood pieces. Yeah, that's true. That is true. The second coat on the lighter wood pieces would definitely help. I think, though, that they're pretty close at this point, though. Like, you can't really tell. These ones are I'm gonna make them look metal-ish. So I just didn't bring my gray to the table, so I'm gonna have to do that later on today off camera. So I won't have time to do it tomorrow during the live. Plus, I'm supposed to be sewing during that time too, so don't want to be doing too much of the non-sewing things. But I'm just going to give the inside of this box a little coat of black, and I do have some whatchamacallit, hot glue runs coming down on the inside of that box. That's okay. That's okay. And if I get any of this chalk paint anywhere where I don't want it, like up on these dills, I'll just sand it off and restain that area. Hopefully I don't, but if y'all know anything about me, you know that I am a messy painter. I like to tell the story about how my husband had no idea, and when we moved into this house, we had a picnic table. We were pretty much starting from scratch after Hurricane Harvey, and so when we moved into this house, we just had our picnic table, right? And we were going to use it on the inside of the house as our dining room table till we got something. And so we painted it like a turquoise color, just, you know, for a decorative element, you know. Us decorative people, we can't just have a wooden picnic table in our house. It's got to be fancy, even if we're roughing it. So we were painting, and my husband is like looking at me. I've got my paintbrush, and I'm just doing this, and paint's flying all over our garage, and I've got it in my hair, and it's on the ground, and it's on the wall. Like it was everywhere. I've had runs coming down the legs of the picnic table, and he was like, "What on God's green earth are you doing right now?" And I was like, I'm painting, babe. And he goes, no, ma'am. This is not how you paint. This is not the way people paint. I was like, this is how I paint. So we learned then that we should not do painting projects together. Just for the health of our relationship, we do not paint together. If I want to paint anything in the house, I do it when he is working out of town. So, and he never knows. He never knows when it's going to happen, when I'm going to get paint happy, and he's going to come home to a completely different house but that's always a fun little surprise for him. I'm just full of surprises. So look at that. Okay, I'm just getting that good and black in there. Got one little side. I think you guys are really going to enjoy how this turns out tomorrow, because I've got some things in store, some fun surprises for tomorrow, 7 a.m. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss the other presenters. I'm actually going to be hand sewing. I'm not going to get out my sewing machine, because when the girls took it to Conroe, and actually that's not even my sewing machine. My sewing machine is on the fritz as well. But when the girls took the other sewing machine that we have that belongs to my daughter, they took it to Conroe for district competition. It messed up during competition, and they ended up having to hot glue their project. So I won't be trying to finagle that beast on camera. I haven't fiddled with it yet. So I need to fiddle with it before I can really trust it to try to do anything on camera with it. But they did end up taking first. Our sweet girls, they did take first. And so we were super excited for that, because they made something amazing and they hot glued it. You could not tell that it was hot glued. For that competition, you have to kind of repurpose something that they give you. They give you like a mystery item, and then you repurpose it. And these girls are like 9, 10, 11, and they whipped out something amazing. So I thought their first place for their division was very much deserved. So anyways, thank y'all so much for being with me today. I appreciate you guys taking your time being up this early this morning, and just sharing your morning with me. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock for our big event. And I'm going to, I'll have this done, and you guys will see how we finish this project off. So again, as usual, thank you for making a homemade home with me today, and we will see you tomorrow. Y'all take care. Bye. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my wooden slats to look metal. I've got Bulk Art metallic acrylic paint here, and I'm just going to use a regular paintbrush, kind of small though, so that I can be more detailed with it. So now I'm just applying that acrylic paint with my little brush there, making sure to get into all of the ridges and edges of the slats. And then I'm going to go over that with two coats of that acrylic paint. If you don't want to see the grain of the wood under the metallic paint, you will want to use either a matte gray first, or you can go over it with just like a creamy white chalk paint. It's up to you, just depending on how silvery you want it. Then I'm just going to use some black chalk paint and a paper towel and dab it a bit, then sprinkle it while it's still wet with that instant coffee, and to give it some of that rust look, and then going over it with Mod Podge. And that's it for that look.